Okay, our chart talker today is Andrew Keene. He runs the futures and options trading resource, KeeneOnTheMarket.com. Andrew, today we've got earnings numbers kicking off, and first out of the gate is Alcoa. It's not a big player, but because it's first, it gets a lot of attention for that reason.
Yes, Alcoa is always the first Dow component to report. It is as the smallest of the Dow component, but it reports today after the bell. And it will give us a good story of how the global growth story is going. As we can look at the chart in Alcoa, the stock has gotten slammed. It's traded down to about 820. It has got a nice little pop up here until 880. I think they're going to have worse earnings than expected. The earnings have been revised down from 12 cents, now down to about 7 cents. The earnings whisper is around 5 cents. The year-over-year revenues is going to be down about 12%. I like to get short weak stocks on rallies. I sold a call spread in Alcoa in the weeklies. I sold the 8 calls. I bought the 9 calls for 62 cents, defining my risk reward. I think Alcoa goes back to 820.
Alcoa is interesting, but is this sort of the tone for the Dow Industrials, you think, going forward?
Not necessarily. I don't think so. Since it is the smallest component, as an aluminum maker in China, it will tell us about Chinese and about European global growth story. As we saw from Nike, we've seen some slowdown from Europe. It will say a small segment of it, but there's been times in years past or in quarters past where Alcoa had really, really weak earnings, and the rest of the market has had very strong earnings. So Alcoa might tell us a little bit more about the commodity space and about the aluminum and copper space, but I don't think it'll give a good indication yet of the Dow components.
Well, only because it's a narrow sector. It's a commodity player. But Europe is overshadowing a lot of what we're going to see as earnings numbers come out.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the earnings, a lot of the companies that are linked to Europe are going to be very, very important. Alcoa is linked to it, but it's also more highly linked to China. So it will tell us more about China than it will tell us about Europe. Later this week, we get earnings from JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Marriott, Fastenal. That will tell us more about the U.S. growth, but this will not tell us as much in Europe as it will tell us about China.
All right, Andrew, you have a good week ahead.
Thank you, you too.